Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel, where today we are going to be taking a look at my July TBR. And yes, this is a slightly different location. My bookshelves are currently inaccessible. Well, I can still get the books off the shelf. I can wiggle my way in, but I definitely can't film in front of them. So we are making do with this space. But for the month of July, I have actually been very good about keeping my list relatively short. I decided that instead of talking about a lot of the books that are possibilities, especially the ones that I'm not even sure that I'm going to like, I'm just going to mostly talk about the ones that I am really excited to get to, the ones that I'm most likely to actually finish, and just keep this list really short. And then whatever I get to, I will talk to you about in my recent reads. So the very first book we're going to talk about is The Monsters We Defy by Leslie Penelope. This is an adult historical fantasy heist story. And I have actually already started this. I just know that I'm not likely to finish it before the end of June. So this will be pushed forward into July. But we're following our main character, who is able to talk to spirits and is going to be involved in some kind of heist. I don't know. I'm not even 50 pages into it, so I don't totally I know where we're going. I just don't know a lot of the details. But I really like the writing style of this, and so I'm excited to continue on. And then the one book that I'm going to push forward from my June TBR that I haven't gotten to yet is To Like the Lightning by Ada Palmer. And this is adult science fiction, and we're following two main characters. One who is a criminal and has been sentenced to help other people. That's what he has to do to atone, because this is set way in the future, 25th century, right? So that's his sentencing. And then we have another main character who is kind of a spiritual counselor, because they don't really have religion this far in the future, and that those two find a boy who is able to do basically something impossible, and the story goes from there. And this is something that I've been really excited to read. I've wanted to get to this for months, and so I'm putting this on the short list for July. I am going to try so hard to get to this book because it just sounds so interesting. So we're going to try to make it happen. And then I have the one book that I am picking up for my buddy read, and that is Vision in Silver by Anne Bishop. So this is the third book in the Other series, and it's an adult urban fantasy series. This is a reread for me, so I already know that I'm going to enjoy this. And I already know that we're probably going to pick this up. My buddy isn't even finished with the second book at the time of filming, but I'm pretty sure we're going to pick this up pretty quickly after she finishes it. And then also likely in July, we'll be picking up the fourth book in this series, but I'm only putting the third on my TBR because I don't know for sure. But I'm really excited to read it. And then I'm going to continue my reread of the Innkeeper series by Ilona Andrews with the second book, Sweep in Peace. So this is adult science fiction fantasy. It's a little bit of a genre bender, but we're following our main character Avdina, who is an innkeeper where her inn serves aliens, except Earth doesn't know aliens exist, so she's got to keep it secret. But in this one, she is going to host a peace summit, and I believe that this is the kind of event that where when people found out who was attending this peace summit, basically every single other innkeeper was no, I'm good, I don't need to do that. But Dina decides to go ahead and do it, and now she's got a real challenge on her hands. But I really love this series. Like I said, it's a reread, so I'm really excited to get to this one. I think that this is a really good book in the series, so I want to read this soon. And this is another series where I will probably pick up more than one book in this series in the month of July, but at the very least, I do want to finish one of them. And so the next one is Sweep in Peace. And then I am very likely to also pick up The Relentless Moon by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is the third book in the Lady Astronaut series, which is like alternate history kind of thing. It's science fiction-y, it's alternate history. Basically, in the 50s, late 40s maybe, a meteor struck the earth and it jump-started climate change. So basically everybody has been pouring money into the space program because they know that earth is going to be uninhabitable very, very quickly. And so the first two books followed our main character of Elma York, and she was an astronaut who was in this space program. And now in this book, we're actually going to follow a different main character who we met in those first two books. And we're going to this story, I think, covers some of the same time period of the first two books, but just from this person's perspective, somebody who is not like in space as much as Elma was. So I'm really excited to get to this. I have loved these books, and I love when series do this thing where they like switch perspectives and we are seeing the same events from a different perspective. I love it so much. So I'm very excited to get to this one, even though it's surprisingly chunky. This is much thicker than the other books. So I am hopeful that it is completely worth it because it's a little bit unexpected. And then I'm also probably going to pick up Backpacking Through Bedlam by Shauna McGuire. And this is the 11th or 12th book in the Encrypted series. I don't remember exactly, but it is, the series is an adult urban fantasy series. We're following a family of cryptozoologists who kind of study and liaison with and sometimes go, fight with the monsters that nobody else knows exists in the world. But in this is also a series, by the way, where we switch perspectives between family members. And in this book, we are following the grandma's perspective, Alice Healy. And so this is the second book that from her perspective. And so we're continuing on with like her narrative arc, which I can't really talk about like at all because spoilers. So I'm excited to get to this one. It is the latest release, and so I'm hoping that I'm not hoping, I'm going to end up getting to this in the month of July. I just know. And then I have two other books which I'm a little bit less sure of, but I'm really hopeful are going to work out. And the first is Rafe by Rebecca Weatherspoon, and this is an adult romance, and I have heard such lovely things about it. Primarily that it is very sweet, very fluffy kind of romance, and like it is hetero. It's a hetero couple, but the male main character is very much a caretaker, and I'm just like, that sounds lovely. I have been on the hunt for a good romance, and I've picked the last couple I've picked up, I have DNF'd and just been really unhappy about it. So I am looking forward to this. I'm hoping that it works for me. And then the last book is Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee, and this is a contemporary heist novel. Basically, we're following these 5 college students as they are trying to pull off multiple heists of museums to try to get back some Chinese artifacts that were stolen, and the museums are basically refusing to give back to the proper owners. And I love this premise so much. I love this idea of righting a huge wrong that we have within the museum system, and so I'm hoping that this book works well for me. But that is it. That's kind of the short list. Those are the things I really want to get to in the month of July. So if you have any thoughts or feelings about any of the books that I have mentioned in this video, please leave me a comment down below. But that's it. So if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and until next time, have happy reading, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!